As the title suggests, in today's video we are going to be discussing Isagi Yoichi's lefty direct shot. Now this is a secondary weapon meant to complement Isagi's direct shot, but don't let that fool you. The lefty direct shot is absolutely broken. You've probably seen the recent manga chapters, so you know it's the reason Isagi was able to score his first goal in the Neo Egoist League. By itself it's not much, but it shines when combined with other factors and weapons and serves to make Isagi a better and more versatile striker. By the end of this video, you should understand how it works and how Isagi was able to compile it with his other techniques and situational elements to score a riveting goal that nobody could have predicted. Cue the intro.
You just gonna take that, or will you fucking fight back? Or will you fucking fight back?
So the lefty direct shot, a shot that took the world by surprise, a technique so unfair Aiku called it a cheat code, one that Isagi acquired in 5 days. But how did he learn to shoot with both feet in just 5 days? As Aiku said and the manga implied, it's impossible to become ambidextrous in just a few days. So what Isagi really did was create a situation where he could accurately shoot with his left foot without loss of power. But even if one did this, it's not like they could just shoot with their weak foot without proper basis. 10 times 0 is still 0. So what is Isagi's basis? Well, let's break it down logically. Noah is Isagi's idol, so if anybody knows about his ambidexterity, it's Isagi. Isagi's even the one to narrate the portion of the manga explaining it. Isagi's looked up to Noah since he was a child, so it makes logical sense that he would try to replicate him. The novel goes into more detail about this, stating Isagi trained like Noah since he was a kid, and if you pay attention to the manga, Isagi has actually shot with and used his left foot actively on multiple occasions. In first selection, he trapped the ball with his left foot. In second selection, he took multiple shots with his left leg and scored, and he even went as far as to attempt a left-footed direct shot during the U20 match. This was a game with their soccer careers on the line, so Isagi must have been pretty confident in his ability to shoot with his left foot to even attempt this. Isagi's been foreshadowed to have a decent weak foot since the start. It's a surprise he wasn't already fully ambidextrous from the get-go, but I assume the author didn't want to make him too broken and wanted to maintain the focus on Isagi's two main weapons, spatial awareness and the direct shot. Also, just because Isagi was inspired by something doesn't make it viable for him to train it and make it his entire weapon. By doing so, he would detract from his other weapons and become a poorer player overall. Like Kunigami said, he would have ruined his specs. Now that we've fully covered his bases, how did Isagi turn his mediocre ambidexterity into a viable shooting option in the match? Well, as you can see in chapter 212, the ball actually bounces before Isagi takes his shot. As you know, half volleys are a lot easier to shoot than full volleys. This is because when the ball bounces, its momentum is significantly reduced, making it easier to synchronize your movements with. Isagi used this to his benefit and combined it with his mediocre ambidexterity and well-developed direct shot to score a spectacular left-footed direct shot. In this sense, Isagi's new formula is actually half volley times lefty shot equals lefty direct shot. Aiku took note of this and will definitely use this knowledge to try and shut down Isagi. I've seen a lot of people come up with the theory that Isagi used Ness to stabilize his core, but this just doesn't make any sense. Ness was trying to knock Isagi's core off balance, so how would that work? Also, if you lean on a wall or hold onto something, does that improve your shot? It just does not make any logical sense. It's more likely that Isagi used the same momentum to pull Ness away and score simultaneously, similar to what Rin did against Karasu in third selection. Now, how does this weapon help Isagi beat Kaiser 100%? Well, before Isagi acquired this new piece, he stated that his chances of beating Kaiser were closer to 50%. This is because he could maneuver himself in front of the goal with metavision, but if Kaiser applied physical pressure from his right side, he would be finished. The lefty direct shot remedies this, but it's not solely responsible. After all, Isagi having a good weak foot is useless if his core is knocked off balance. So how did he fix this issue? The training he did during the 5 days before the Ubers match was responsible for this. In this training, he improved all his parameters, including his off-the-ball movements. So it was actually a fusion of off-the-ball movements and Isagi's lefty direct shot that ensured victory 100% and allowed him to score regardless of how Kaiser approached him. But the final element that tied this all together and absolutely ensured victory was the element of surprise. Isagi seemingly kept his lefty direct shot training hidden so that even his own teammates were surprised when he pulled it off. This was effective, as Kaiser and Ness didn't respond in turn by sandwiching Isagi and applying pressure on both sides. Don Lorenzo was marking Kaiser, but they might have figured something out regardless. Also, Ness might have just outright fouled Isagi if he knew there was nothing he could do to stop him scoring. He's just that deranged. So this had the effect of preventing his teammates from being fully prepared, but how did it help him score against Ubers? Well, it was revealed a few chapters back that players in the Neo Egoist League have access to previous matches and can analyse them to come up with new strategies and tactics. Snuffy, being the strategist nut that he is, would absolutely have his players analyse and watch previous games to be better prepared for matches. So for all the goalkeeper knew, Isagi could only shoot with his right foot. His lefty direct shot was a completely new variable that they could not have accounted for, and that is what made it all the more devastating. And that is the entire breakdown of Isagi's lefty direct shot. I should be doing more breakdown videos like this in the future, so stay tuned for those. That's about it. Peace.